Secretary, Government of India, to escort them to the dais. I request the chairman to hand over a floral bouquet to our chief guest. And a floral bouquet to our guest of honor as well. I request our program coordinator, C.A. Vinay Tyagaraja, also to come up on the dais. I request our treasurer to hand over a floral bouquet. Thank you. Now I request the chairman to give a welcome address.
Chief guest, young member of our institute, Ratish, guest of honor, knowledge hub of the department, DP Nagendra sir, our program coordinator, Vinay sir, our past chairmen, Ashok Raghavan sir, Babu sir, members in the committee, and my professional colleagues. Happy morning to you all. Happy morning. Even smaller crowd make a lot of difference. Happy morning. That's good. I welcome you all for this 2 days seminar on real estate and RERA. When I requested Ratish sir to come as a chief guest, even in his busy schedule, he agreed and he made it a point to come. Even our DP Nagendra sir. Vinay sir nicely drafted this program and coordinated, well coordinated for this program. I thank Vinay sir also. It's a very important seminar on real estate. Last 2 to 3 years we have not conducted a physical program on real estate because of pandemic. It's a very important because lot of members are practicing in real estate and RERA. Real estate sector is one of the major contributor of revenue to the government. It's being the IT hub, semiconductor hub, startup hub, and so many other feathers in the cap. Lot of migration is happening. Lot of talent all over the globe is looking forward Bangalore. Industries are settling down in Bangalore. Globally, it's a very hot favorite. Considering all this, it's a very hot favorite for real estate. As one of the statistics says that by 2030, real estate sector, it may reach 1 trillion. So much happening in and around real estate. Considering this, when department introduced RERA, it was a level playing for common investors and a comfort factor and building a trust among the buyers and investors. And it is a major contributor for GST. Upcoming investors is day by day is increasing. Lot of professionals are involved in guiding and consulting their clients on real estate. It's a high time. We need to upgrade and abreast with the latest happenings in the real estate sector. Considering all these matters, experts, speakers has been chosen for this conference. Hope after completing this session, it's a knowledge enrichable session for you. It's a good amount of take-home aspects from this real estate sector. We should not also consider only as a matter of CP completion. We should actively participate and make benefit of this entire session so that the efforts of the committee and coordinators will be feel happy for coordinating such a program. There is a lot of things to discuss on real estate. Eminent speakers are there. I don't want to come in between you. Once again, I welcome you for this 2 days conference on real estate. Thank you. Over to Secretary.
Thank you, Chairman. Now I request CA Vinay Tyagaraja to just give the overview of the 2 days conference.
I'm here to share the overview of this 2 days seminar on real estate. I'll just brief you about the background. About 40 days back, when the chairman, our beloved chairman Srinivas sir, has called me and asked, like, we will have a session on real estate online. I said, no online, sir. Online is enough. People are like not more interested on the online. He did mention that, like, I'm not seeing good number of members participating physically at the branch programs. I said, those are all normal programs, sir. Real estate programs are real programs. So certainly the members will love to participate fully, and that's how the physical mode of program has been finalized, and we announced the date. And today we have completed the registration 2 days ahead of the program date. That is what is the replay and also honor for all of us to be here. I'll share, and as you know that this industry has gone through a lot of changes in last 5 years. In spite of whatever the changes, this industry has bounced back to its normal. And today the statistics says that in Bangalore we don't have a ready to move in inventory. So that is what is the opportunity which we have for this industry. As an industry, it requires the support and structure of the professionals. As a chartered accountant, we play a very vital role in terms of supporting this, whether it's a compliance or it's a tax advisory or structuring it. So I felt it's very apt to have these 2 days of seminar which covering various gamut of the industry, which is of very much required to support and structure, as this industry is a very typical industry unless any other industry which start from the idea to a finished product. And unless other industry where the product is available for the customer to experience, here there is no product. An idea which would be converted into a product and the delivered. During the development of this, there are various challenges, not only the taxation, not only the crisis of the liquidity, government policy, customer demand, customer expectation, all will have the impact on the deliverables. So considering that, so we felt that this program will give a better perspective to the members, number one. Second is, what are the new opportunities in this industry for the members? Third, how do we advise to our stakeholders? It is not only the builders or developers. We require to handle entire stakeholders of the industry, which includes the investor, which includes the allottees in the project, customers and bankers, financial institution, regulators, and representation to the government about the challenges this industry go through, and also what is possible out of this. So in view of this 2-day seminar is taken up, and we have a very good, eminent, expert, experienced speakers. I need not to give any introduction of any of these speakers. We are all very well aware of them, and which covers the income tax and the GST, which is 2 pillars of this industry. Apart from that, we have a recent regulatory mechanism of RERA. We have one more topic, and also Globe is looking at India as a destination for the investment. Certainly we need to have some hands-on experience or the knowledge on when we advise or give the suggestion to our small or big developers on the investment into India. So we have a good speaker to talk on FMO and FDI. So it's a culmination of the good topics and the subjects in the interest of the members and also the delegates here. I would request each one of you to participate fully, take the benefit of the program and the speakers availability in these 2 days, and I welcome all of you for this 2-day seminar. And I thank you, Chairman of the Bangalore branch, who has posed confidence on me in terms of coordinating this program. And thank you and welcome each one of you to the 2-day seminar on the real estate. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinay sir. Now I request our Treasurer CA Manjunath M. Hallur to introduce the chief guest.
Good morning, dignitaries on the desk and off the desk, professional colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It's my proud privilege to introduce today's chief guest, CA Ratish Nambiar. Ratish Nambiar is co-founder of Nambiar Group, a chartered accountant by profession. Ratish Nambiar is heading Nambiar Builders Group as the CEO. His contributions to the company in achieving a strong foothold in the industry have been unmatched. Nambiar has been involved in the real estate industry for over a decade, and it was his experience, expertise, strategic outlook, and keen sense of the industry that made Nambiar Builders a leading and valued real estate brand in Bengaluru. His valuable insights, sharp business strategies, collaborative approach, and advice have played a vital role in launching premium projects and ensuring their success. His everlasting energy, enthusiasm, tremendous motivational skills, and professional ethics have been the driving force of the company for meeting high expectations of our clients. Mr. Ratish Nambiar, with his innovative approach and sharp business acumen, has helped the company surpass every milestone. With this brief introduction, I present before you CA Ratish Nambiar. Thank you.
Thank you, Manjunath, for the wonderful introduction. Now I would like to take the privilege in introducing Shri D.P. Nagarendra Kumar, an officer belonging to 1985 batch of IRS, has a wide experience in administrating indirect taxes for over 3.5 decades. He has held the position of member GST in the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs before superannuation in July 2022. He is credited for establishing the large taxpayer unit in the country in the year 2006. He was part of the focus group constituted by the Tax Administration Reform Commissioner on Audit and Scrutiny. He was actively involved in drafting the model GST laws as a member of the Law Drafting Committee constituted by the Empowered Committee of the State Finance Minister and the Government of India. He was also the member in several committees constituted by EC such as Dual Control, Threshold and Exemption, Place of Supply, Committee constituted by GST Council on Seamless Transportation under GST, sectorial groups on services provided to and by the governments. He was also actively involved in training over 10,000 officers for both central and state governments in GST laws. He is trained High Court judges in National Judicial Academy, Bhopal on GST laws during 2018 to 2021. He has also addressed honorable members of Legislative Assembly of Kerala on the invitation on Speaker of the State Assembly in 2018. He is a visiting faculty at IIM Bengaluru. Prior to his elevation as member in the CBIC, he was the Chief Commissioner of Central Tax Zone, Bangalore, overseeing the smooth transition to GST in the state of Karnataka. During his tenure as a member of GST, path-breaking measures in simplifying the GST provisions were recommended to to the GST Council that got approved in the 45th and 47th GST Council meetings. He was awarded the prestigious Presidential Appreciation Certificate for the distinguished record of the service on the occasion of Republic Day 2009. Post-retirement, he is actively involved in GST policy advocacy and training center and state GST affairs. We welcome you, sir, with a warm clap, and we thank you for such contribution to the government. Now we shall release the souvenir of the seminar. I request the dignitaries on the dais to come forward and MC members to join us for the release of this souvenir. I request our MC members to remain with us. Now we shall start the seminar by inaugurating by lighting of the lamp as a symbol of knowledge. I request the dignitaries on dais to come forward to the lamp. First I request our guest of honor, Mr. D.P. Nagendra Kumar sir, to address our members.
the chief guest for today's morning program, Shri Ratish Nambiar, other distinguished dignitaries on the dais, dear participants. A very good morning to all of you. At the outset, I must thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to be present amidst all of you in inaugurating this 2 days workshop on real estate sector. As a practicing professionals, I think having an updated knowledge on this important segment of the Indian economy is very important, not only from a professional point of view, but also providing valuable advice to the stakeholders, as Mr. Vinay had mentioned in his opening remarks. Real estate sector in India is contributing approximately around about 6 to 8% of the total GDP in our country. In terms of employment, I'm given to understand, I think the real estate and infrastructure sector is the second largest sector next to the IT and ITS in providing employment to the human labor component of it. When it comes to the contribution to the revenue for the government, I think the real estate sector plays a very crucial role. Be it in direct taxes as well as in indirect taxes, the contribution from the real estate sector for the national revenue mobilization is humongous. But having said that, the real estate sector has gone through a very difficult time in the past 4 or 5 years in terms of the structural corrections happened in our economy, starting with demonetization in 2016 and followed by GST and the COVID pandemic. But the industry has been very resilient and has been coping with those challenges and reinventing itself in progressing further. In my brief discussion with Mr. Ratish Nambiar in the morning today, before we commence this program, I was just inquiring about how the real estate sector has been doing in the year 2022-23. I think the green shoots are there in terms of the demand side and also with regard to the ease of regulations which has happened in terms of creating a lot of enabling environment in the last decade or so. Real estate sector is known for a lot of negative things. I think that perception is changing, and that's good for the industry and also for the country as a whole. From the taxation perspective, the background from which I am coming from, the GST, which heralded a new era in the taxation in our country in consolidating the indirect taxes, has its own impact on the real estate sector. When we rolled out the GST on 1st July 2017, perhaps the subsumation of the tax at the center and the state level had also impacted the worst contract services, which is impacting the real estate. Prior to GST, I think the VAT was levied between 1 to 4% across the country in different states, depending on the jurisdiction in which you had operated the project. And at the central level, we also had the service tax, because essentially construction is a transaction involving services, as rightly held by Supreme Court way back in Gannon Dunkerley about 50 years ago. Now, the consolidation effort in GST in taxing these activities on the real estate sector is not a complete end-to-end value addition project. There are still exclusions, because any transaction involving land or an immovable property which is complete is mentioning about when we transitioned into the GST, the pre-GST taxation, both in center and the state level, had its own rate structure and also provided for a sort of a prescription in which the input taxes were not allowed to be set off. As a result of which, I think it became a cost to the business in terms of paying the taxes, which ultimately got passed on in the terms of prices to the consumers. When we introduced the GST, the introduction of GST was accompanied with an eligibility to the input tax credit. Obviously, when input tax credit was to be factored into in the tax rate, I think the rate will have to be fairly tweaked at a higher level. The industry felt perhaps having paid tax at 1 to 4% at the state level and about 4.8% at the central level, a rate of tax at 18% would have been much more higher, and the visibility of tax would have had a psychological factor in terms of the demand. The industry made representation to the government, and ultimately government came out with a complete revamp in taxing the real estate from 1st of April 2019. whereby I think it took a decision not to extend the ITC but reduce the rate of tax. In case of affordable housing, the rate of tax was fixed at about 1% without ITC, and in case of other real estate residential development, it was kept at 5%, and of course on the commercial projects at about 12%. Coupled with that, I think the industry has been also looking at some of the new areas where the tax issues had come in terms of transferable development rights and also with regard to the services provided by the landowner to a developer and vice versa. The details of which I'm sure I think Mr. Gela Venugopal and as well as Mr. Vaithishan will be talking to you tomorrow in detail. Now, to cut the story short, the GST as a tax reform had impact on real estate in terms of the cost. Because as an industry, I understand that I think real estate sector do consume a lot of products which go into the construction, be it cement at 28% or for that matter the steel at 18%, and most of the services which are consumed in the real estate is also at 18%, is going to be a great input cost into the overall product. I'm also given to understand by the organizers today that the GST impact on a real estate development in Bangalore on a per square feet basis, if you have to look at it, it's coming to around about 450 to 650 rupees. Should the ITC be available on this sector, I think this incidence would substantially come down. While that could be the industry ask in future, way forward to look at how do we enable ITC to come as a part of the taxing mechanism in GST, but there is no denial of the fact, the moment the ITC is made eligible, the rate of tax will have to be ultimately tweaked upwards simply to avoid the inversion. The inversion means when input tax is higher than the output tax, obviously the tax credit becomes a cash liable, an issue on receivables in your books of accounts, and it is going to become an affecting factor on your working capital. So a tax rate should be such that the input tax credit, when it is made eligible, should be actually used for an output tax liability which would liquidate the input tax credit as such. I think that's what the industry may be looking at in future. Apart from that, the taxation is one dimension. I also understand the real estate does face a lot of regulatory, close to almost what I was told, around about 40 and odd laws in which you need to be in compliance. But the regulatory environment in terms of creating the RERA and also amending the provisions regarding the IBC, the Insolvency and the Bankruptcy Code, and also with regard to the tax laws being continuously being tweaked to enable the industry to do well, I'm sure, I think in the days to come should provide a fillip in the demand side and also provide the required relief for the industries which has been seeking. With these introductory remarks, let me once again congratulate all of you for being part of this important workshop for 2 days, where you will be updated with regard to the regulatory and also the taxation issues, and also as a professional, this updated knowledge will serve you better in providing the advisory to your clients, be the developers, the construction industry, or for that matter, the consumers. Wish you all a very happy learning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your words. Now I request our chief guest of the day to give an inaugural address.
Good morning, Nagendra Kumar sir, and our president, and chartered accountant friends and expert on this seminar. I am really thankful to President for inviting me on this seminar. I would like to express my gratitude to this esteemed institute for molding me as a good professional and helping me to get into business and talking about the industry which I represent, real estate, touched my heart, and I'll tell it's one of the beautiful, noble business. But the sad part in our country, perception about this business is not that good. But last few years, through regulatory mechanism, and effort from this fraternity, perception is slowly changing. Why I mention it's a noble business? Because when we plan, create, develop, construct a workspace or a house, actually we are joining the journey of a dream. Most of our customers, this house or whatever the product we are giving, that's part of their dream. And every day, day-to-day life, they will touching upon that product. See, when I think about the CA journey and this developer business journey, there are a lot of similarities. See, for getting into the CA course, there is no big entry barrier. Anybody can become a developer. There is no big entry barrier. But completing a project successfully and winning the heart of our end users, customer, doing it successfully, it's not an easy task. We should put a lot of effort, lot of planning. Then only we can complete a project and we can successfully deliver a product. See, most of the cases, what will happen, whatever we plan, things won't work the way we are thinking. In the CA course also, it's always like that only. We will do a lot of homework, lot of effort, but it's a tough journey. Same way, here also so many, we go to any good consultant, do any brainstorming, they will give a lot of ideas, but look back, nobody can predict about demonetization. There won't be any consultant, like because any feasibility if you are doing, tomorrow NGT changing, buffer line from here to there, nobody knows. Like that, day to day, even how Nagendra sir already mentioned, while implementing GST, this is the only one sector we are not getting the input credit. Around 600 rupees of our construction cost is going up. And recently we come across Corona, lot of disruption, lot of problem. But actually, it's a very good business, and this business needed a lot more professionals. Now I am part of Bangalore CREDAI. Our CREDAI, actually, I am part of the governing body, heading by a qualified architect. We got a lot of lawyers in the GB. Then we got engineers, MBAs, chartered accountants. See, I welcome, I think many of you might be thinking of getting into business. Lot of opportunities there. This is one of the best business. And professional level also, if you look into a lot of areas, okay, lot of areas are there. You can really concentrate on this sector. As Nagendra sir told, we are one of the biggest employment provider, directly and indirectly. We are actually contributing more than 6% to the GDP. I am really thankful to President for inviting me, and I am sure next coming 2 days, it will be a knowledgeable session. Many of the experts are my consultants and good friends. I think you will enjoy this. Once more, wishing all the best for this seminar. Thank you.
Thank you for the inaugural address, sir. Before I propose a vote of thanks for this inaugural session, we would like to have a felicitation to our chief guest and the guest of honor. I request the MC members of the dais to come on the dais, please, to do the honor. Firstly, we shall felicitate our guest of honor. MC members, request you to come up on the dais. Now we shall felicitate our chief guest. I request I would like to thank the guest of honor and the chief guest to making it convenient to attend this seminar and declaring this 2 days seminar to be open. And also for sparing your time and gracing us for this today's events. And also your inaugural address did make a set for the 2 days seminar. Thank you, sir. Thank you for making it convenient to attend.